All right. All right. Let's get this thing going, man. First and foremost, I want to say, right? Oh, Salakia. First and foremost, I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Shem Yashai. Right? I might even go the route of even putting this right smack dab in the middle of my face, man, and getting my face up out this thing, though. So first and foremost, I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Shem Yashai. What I just said is all praises to the Father in the name of the Son. I also want to say, Yahweh Shem Yashai Barakatah, may the Most High in Christ bless. What we're gonna do is go into the topic at hand, man. This chapter here, right? Second Ezra 13 is unrefutable, man, for the natives and Hispanics, man. Um, and we're gonna have to deal with this, man. We're gonna have to go into a lot of stuff, man. This is straight off the hip, due to the severity of what I've been seeing on this website, man. Right, y'all gonna get my notifications today. I haven't been having too much going on Twitter, man. So we're gonna go. Actually, I can't even go into my notifications. We're gonna have to go here to my replies, and then this right here, man. Right, so can't even see it the dude is blocked, man. This is the status that the dude said. Something. He said I was race baiting by saying that Hispanics is a part of our nation, right? Because they got too much flavor, right? Why would I say that they is a part of our nation because they have so much flavor, right? Let's get it. I think it's Matthew 10 and 17, right? I'm not sure about this, but I'm gonna look, right? Okay. So I don't know the precept off the top of my head. It might be 5 and 17. So we just gonna look it up, and I'm not going to even. It's 5 and 13, right? So this is Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, right? It says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his flavor, right, or savor, right, meaning flavor or good taste, man, right, wherewith shall it be salted?" Right? So the argument now is that the natives, they go into pagan ways, right? Or the Hispanics, they go into paganism, right? But the thing is, so do blacks, right? How do we know this, right? Let's finish this verse off. It is thenceforth good for nothing, right? So yes, it's good for nothing. A black man who don't keep the ways of the Most High, right? A Hispanic man, a native man who don't keep the ways of the Most High, or a female too who don't keep the ways of the Most High. The Bible says that they are good for nothing. That's what that's going into, man. It ain't talking about if you ain't fly, if you ain't got no jewels, if you ain't got no swag to you, man. That ain't what that's talking about, man. That's talking about the flavor is what the Most High gave to us, man. Right? But to be cast out and be trodden under foot of men, right? So we gotta understand, man, that the natives are the people and the Hispanics are the people, man. Right now, how do I come to the conclusion that we got these people being our people, man? Right? So this is how every Israelite, man, knows they are an Israelite, right? Let's go here. We got this. Let me give you this. Right? We got that. And then this has a bugged out book, man. But this go into it too, man. This go into it too. This is a bugged out book, man. But this more so specifically, man. This book here gonna tell you about how the natives and the blacks had so much in common. Let me see if I can find this off a quick glance, man. Right? Okay, so it's gonna be in the first chapter. I'm gonna do a quick glance of it, man, because this is by Williams Lawrence Kantz. Right? I should have started highlighting in this book, but I cherish this book so widely, man. I use it for a lot of information and good character, good things, man. Like it's good stuff in this book, man. Um, so I don't want to go too deep into this, man. I'm trying to look for the answer that I'm looking for, man. But we're gonna see, man, that in this book, man, the natives and the Africans, man, they came together through the similar. Oh, I found it. Look at that, man. I'm gonna show you the passage, right? Pause the video and look into this, man, right? Before you say that I'm adding something, and read it for yourself, man. Right? This ain't me. This ain't my own words. This is Williams Lorenz Kant. Kant's, right? Williams Lorenz Kant. Katz, right? He wrote these. So if you got an issue with it, man, take it up with him, man. So they said something about the cultural similarities. We just seen that, man. I think it's right around this area, right? So it's right in here, Slovakia, right? Native American. Hold on. Okay, so it's right here, starting in this paragraph where my finger at, right? It said is this right here, right? Let's get some clearing up, right? So we're gonna actually, okay, which way I gotta go, right? So this passage here, man, right? Right and down into that next paragraph down here, man, right where it says in the United States. So this passage, man, pause the video and read that, man, and then you tell me, right? So we're gonna go into that. Those who have put history into books have emphasized differences between Africans and Native Americans. For example, they have stressed that Europeans encountered Indians as distinct individuals and members of proud nations, and Africans as nameless slaves. Little mention is made of the enslavement of Native Americans, and nothing is said about the cultural similarities between the two dark peoples. Right? In 1984, scholar Theda Purdue said, by emphasizing the actual exaggerated and imagined differences between Africans, it says exaggerated and imagined differences between Africans and Indians. This was something that they made up, that we are a different people, man. This was exaggerated and imaginated, man. That's a work of their imagination, man. Right? This ain't even me going into the Bible yet, man. This is an outside source, man, that backs up that Indians were, yes, they might have been darker skinned than they are today, man. Right? And Hispanic as well, but they had cultural similarities, man. Now, we're going to finish this little excerpt off, right? Whites successfully masked the cultural similarities of the two races as well as their mutual exploitation by whites. That's the only passage I need to get out of that book, because we have similar cultural patterns. Their culture is the same as ours. And then the things that they say differ between us, man, is all something that's been imagined, something that's exaggerated, something they stretched the truth, right? So we got to understand that this is not what this actually is, man. They lied to us, man. To say that we are two different peoples is a lie, man, right? So I got to go into my text messages, man, because the reasoning behind this was I'm texting a brother who I'm trying to get to the right. Well, nah, I can't say it's the right way, man. But what I believe, man, right? Because some people don't believe that Israelites are Hispanics and natives, man. I'm not saying you might be wrong or you might be right, but we gotta look into this, man. Right? The books and the text and all that stuff suggests that we are the same people. And in this book here, man, right? If I'm not mistaken, it does tell about how the northern tribes went to America, man, if I'm not mistaken, man. But I haven't even read it. I read through the first few pages of this, and I was like, why would people suggest that you get this book, right? So we going through these text messages, right? And let's go where okay, so let's go where we left. We started getting into this, man. I'm not gonna show the text messages that I share with the brother, but I am going to get the precepts that I share with the brother. So, first thing that I got for the brother, right, was Deuteronomy 28 and 31. Right here, man. This does not apply to us at all as blacks, right? And it's irrefutable, man. So, Deuteronomy 28:31, it says, thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes. Right? You can't get the right thing, right, without typing in wild Buffalo Bill, right? Because if you type in Buffalo Bill, you're gonna get the Buffalo Bills, man, right? So this dude here, man, why was he named Buffalo Bill, man? Right? Why he got natives on his side, man, right? Right? You see this? I am coming. Right? Why is this, man? Buffalo Bills Wild West. So you see in one side natives, and you see, and that's the Spanish flag. That's all conquistadors, right? Or Spanish or even whites, man. Right? That's not our people, man. These over here, that's what we would know as the natives, man. And that's who they were killing, man. Right? Actually, before we go into this, man, let's try and make this. Nah, you can see the turbans and the knives, man. This that looked like it could potentially be. Okay, so it could be the British versus the English. So um, it ain't really the natives that he's hand in hand with, right? Um, Hold on. So here, this is the image that they don't want to show you, right? If I'm not sure, this is the same dude, Buffalo Bill, man, right? That killed all the natives, man. I mean the oxes. The bison is the natives version of the oxes, man, right? Let me just see if Buffalo Bill is in here, cause then I can correct myself, right? Okay, so it ain't got nothing about Bill. So let's just see if William is in here, right? Okay. So it ain't about Buffalo Bill. I'm not going to add to the text, man, and say it is, man. Or add to anything and say it is. But the man on top of here, man, right, and in front here, I wish these images were bigger, man. But let's see what we could do. That ain't going to be good enough, man. Let's see if we could zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Right? So, white man. That is not a native. That's a white man. Right? And then that up there, that's another white man. Right? Not natives or Hispanics. Because why would the natives kill off their own animals, man? Right? So let's close this. Let's go back into here, man. Right? Let's go back into here. Verse 31, it says, "Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes," man. They literally did it before our eyes, man. "And thou shalt not eat thereof," man. So they killed all the buffalo, man. And now that the buffalo, right, or the bison, right? See, look, I don't even have to finish my thing. I think Buffalo Bill was actually on the side of the natives, man. That's actually crazy to think of, man. Native American peoples of the Great Plains thrived off the bison by using every part of the animal for food. So thou shalt not eat thereof, shelter, clothing, tools, and spiritual practices. What is the spiritual practices? The sacrifices, right? Because it's good for sacrifice, man. But we wouldn't be able to sacrifice them in this land, right? But they wouldn't thought of it that way, man. They just trying to right their wrongs, man, right? So they use every part of the animal, man, right? So when we see that the natives, "Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof," right? They ain't get the benefits of the bison no more after they got here, man. Right? "Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face." And what do we see? How do we see the ass taken away from before thy face? I don't want to go into the history, but so you see this, man. They were violently taken, man. These were not even animals that we had and ranches, man. These were just animals that they would hunt, and then they would kill them off, man, or kill them and take their bones and everything and use them, man. So for these people to kill off all of these people, man, I want to see this, man. Right? I'm gonna save this for later, man. What it might have the name of the dude in here, man. Okay.
You might have seen.
So we're just gonna go into it really quick, man. I'm gonna mute myself, and we're gonna get into this video so we can hear what it's about.
This image before, it's a picture taken in Rougeville, Michigan in 1892, and it shows two men posing in front of a mountain. If you look closer, you can see it's all skulls. This image became the icon of the bison massacre that took place in North America. But what are we looking at exactly? To better understand the magnitude of the issue, we need to go back to the time of the settlers.
You read reports from the 1800s of settlers observing groups of 3 million animals strong moving along the rivers. That's impossible to comprehend what that looked like.
Chris Jeremiah is the bison guy of Yellowstone Park, a job he has been doing for 22 years.
5,500 animals. We just finished counting them. You know, they've lived here for as long as time exists, I suppose. And, they've lasted a while.
The killing of bison, it was very much part of the public policies that the United States had against indigenous people, very much part of the policies of cultural genocide.
Rosalie Lapierre is an environmental historian and a member of the Blackfeet tribe of Montana. She can explain the story behind the picture in details.
Oftentimes, what was taken from the bison was either just the hide, and the entire bison was left there on the prairies. You could just see for miles, dead bison, rotting bison, and then over time, all that was left were bones. Later in the 19th century, people learned that you could use bison bones as fertilizer. People then would go out onto the prairies and collect thousands and thousands of bison bones and bison skulls and ship them back east so that they could be ground up and turned into fertilizer. Indigenous people think of this as sort of returning to the scene of the crime and collecting all the evidence and taking it away.
As the national mammal of the United States, bison are a keystone species capable of engineering the landscape. At the beginning of the 20th century, their population was partially restored. This year, a white bison was born in Yellowstone.
It was the first albino ever born in the park, as well as we know.
So, what is the conclusion here, man? So they went and killed off. I did the math of what they said, man. Right? This is actually crazy, man. So it was 3 million buffalo that was mentioned in the video, right? They said the population in 1890 was 3 million buffalo or something along those lines, right? They said by the time they were done, the population of buffalo, or the population today, is 5,500 buffalo. That means they killed 2,994,500 buffalo. The natives lived off the buffalo, and they decided to come over here and kill it. And then they said that they left our carcasses to rot, right? And what was a custom of the Israelites, man, right? Why would they not eat something that's dead already, man, right? Oh man, no, I had it right there, man. Anything that dies of itself, right? So this Deuteronomy 14:21, right? Let's get it really quick. Deuteronomy 14:21. Hopefully it's out the KJV, man. Right? So we're gonna get Deuteronomy 14, right? And then we go into 21. It says, "Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself." Right? Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk, man. So when we seeing that the animals was already dead, they wasn't going to question if it was the white man that killed it or anything. They just was like, oh my God, what's going on? But we can't eat these animals because it's our custom not to eat anything that dies of itself. So they did not eat the bison that were dead because it was a Israelite custom, right? And then we gotta get into this, man, right? we gotta get into this, man. Right, the Los Lunas Decalogue stone, man. Right, this is what was the Ten Commandments written in the Paleo Hebrew in New Mexico, man. If it's not New Mexico, in them, right? We see there New Mexico. This is where this was found, and then it says Decalogue in ancient Hebrew. Why would the natives be writing in Hebrew, man? And why would they know the name of the Lord, man? Right? Let's see if we can find Yahweh in this real quick, man. I can't get a decent picture for the life of me, man. Right? Let's see why these people would be writing in Hebrew if they were not God's chosen people, man. Right? I'm trying to look for the name of the Lord, man. YHWH, man, out of the Hebrew. I can't really make out what's in these stones, man, without a zooming in of these images, man. So it's actually going to be a little bit challenging for me to find this, man, or point it out. But I do know that there's videos out here, man, that they have shown that the name of Yahweh is in here, man, because I am Yahweh thy power, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. That's the first commandment, right? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That is in there, man. Right? They have that on these stones, man. They have the 10 commandments on these stones. And this was not put here by the white man. This was not put here by anybody else. When the white man found these, they thought, oh my goodness, the natives, man, they know Hebrew. How did the natives know Hebrew, right? Where did they get the 10 commandments from, right? And then if we're gonna go into that, man, I don't think I was finished with this, man. So let's finish that. Thy ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and should not be restored to thee. Right. So they did not get those 3 million bison back, man. The 2.994.5 or the 2,994 and 500 994,500 bison that was killed, man, have not been restored to the natives. That's why it says, and shall not be restored to thee. Right? We had, as blacks, we didn't have animals taken and killed in front of our face. The natives had to suffer that fate, man. You can't say that the blacks went through this, man. Right? And this is where we kind of going into a thing where people are going to be like, the original natives were dark skinned, right? But we got to understand it goes by the seed of the father. Before I go into that, man, let me get the point I was going to make, man. I forgot the point I was going to make, so we just going to, oh no, I know what I was going to make. Let me just write that down because I want to get this verse first. We're going to go with Psalm, no. Yeah, I'm just going to get the one that I want, 147, right? So, I know I dropped this pen somewhere. I can't find it, though. I had another verse that I wanted to get, right? It's right here. I can't think of it. Psalm 147. But there was another one. Let me just, it's going to come back to me if the Lord will, man. So this Psalm 147, verse 19, it says, He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them, praise ye Yahweh. How do the other nations know the 10 commandments and they had no other contact with humans, right? The natives, they obviously had to know God, man. They had to know, and this ain't just talking about the natives, this talking about the Hispanics as well. Because this New Mexico, that's not native territory. That would be what we would call Hispanic territory, right? That was bought or purchased, because you know they didn't purchase anything. They took the land from the natives after they had an American Indian War going on for about, I think the American Indian, let's not give no false information, right? How long? So American Indian Wars lasted from begins with early 17th century, so the early 1800s, right, and continuing into the early 20th century. 200 years the natives was fighting the white man, right? And actually 200 years the natives were fighting black men, right? Because the cowboys and the Indians was actually black boys, what they would call cowboys, because they would never call themselves men. I mean, they would never call themselves boys as white men, right? They would always refer to slaves as boys, right? That's why there was the cowboys and the Indians. That's just two dark-skinned peoples going at it with each other, man. Right? It was the cowboys and the Indians facing each other in the American Indian Wars, meaning that the blacks was fighting against the natives, man. This was a reason why we have so much animosity towards them to this day, man. And actually, let me go back on my Twitter really quick, man. Let's go to my profile. Yeah, I got a bunch of folly on there. It don't matter, right? Because it's another thing that I posted about the natives, right? Or about the Hispanics, right? Hold on, wait. Okay, so this is kind of like a conflict of interest for me to even post this, man. So this ain't got nothing to do with it, right? I said the natives only mess with the natives, and it be making me feel like certain tribes are not actually native because we had the $5 Indian Treaty, which went into fruition in 1867. It might even been 1824, right before the American Indian War started. If I'm not mistaken, in 1800, that they said it was 100 years. So hold on, I'm trying to get my math together, right? So it says the 17th, so earliest 17th century to the 1924. So 1824 to 1924. That don't make sense. So the 20th century would be 1900s, and this would be the 1800s, right? No, this is the 1600s, Slovakia, man. 1600s, earliest 17th, because we're in the 21st century is 2020, whatever, you know. So this was the 1600s, so it's actually more than what I said. This is 300 years, man, which makes sense, man. So for 300 years, man, leading up until 1924 and 1824, that's when we have the thing that it was the Virginia Act of, let's look it up, right? Virginia Act of 1682. Ooh, it was earlier than what I was quoting, man. Right? So in the Virginia Act of 1682, this is what made, and they changed up the wording of this, man, because before it used to say that it was when natives were reclassified as Negroes, right? And that the reason that natives was reclassified as Negroes was because that these $5 Indians could fill in the void, right? So we seeing that a lot of these natives is fakers, man. They might not be the real people, but we seeing also through the burden and hardship that these people actually ain't just $5 Indians, man. We go on to these reservations around the area, man. As black people, they are more accepting of us than they are of the white man. You literally in my area, the Buffalo Niagara Greater region, man. They will pull out their long rifles and start shooting white people on their territory, man, because they are not welcome, right? This ain't something that the white man would do with other whites, right? The white man, if they seeing a white man or black man come on their territory, they gonna be like, you better get out of here, boy, before you end up dead, or they gonna hang us, man. Even people of color, man, Hispanics, natives, and Chinese, all different types, man, right? They don't care, right? But when it comes to their own, they more so softer with their own. They have more compassion with their own, man, right? The natives, they don't have that compassion for the white man, right? They literally go and they start shooting these mugs once they get on their territory, man, right? And they know they not welcome there, man, right? So we gotta understand that this what I said, man, is not saying that the natives are not our people, man, right? This is really the reason why I'm going into it. Shout out to Brother Fab, man, because he gave me in the spirit to do what I need to do, man. But it ain't what we think it is, man, right? In the Bible, man, when we see him, man, we seeing that the Israelites ain't just black, man. Israel is as a speckled bird, man. My inheritance is as a speckled bird. I'm getting that next, but I want to keep on going where I left off in this Deuteronomy 28. Let's go back down to verse 51 now, and it says, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, right? And the fruit of thy land. That's talking about us and the natives, man, right? But the fruit of the land, man, that this is literally going into where they at right now and how they took everything from them, man. Until thou be destroyed. This is what they doing. They moved them into reservations, man. Reservations do not have proper some reservations, not all of them. Some reservations don't have proper, what is it called, sanitary lines and plumbing, man. Right? What is that? What is the word for that? Infrastructure, proper infrastructure, man. Right? They don't have the right zoning and all that stuff, man. They don't have that in their neighborhoods, man, and they destroy it, man. Right? Let's keep on going. Which also shall not leave thee either corn. What is the natives' number one fruit or vegetable, man? Corn. Where do we get corn or popcorn from? The natives, man. Right? And then the natives, they are wine bibbers, man. They are drunkards. Right? If every native you ask, man, they have alcoholics in their family. The natives that grew up 3 blocks away from me when I was in the 5th grade, man. I was in the same classes as these Native Americans, man. And they was literally in the hood with me. Let's use some numbers for example. I was on 17th Street. They was on 14th Street, man. Right? In the middle of that on 13th Street or not 13th Street, 15th and 16th Street, man. Right? That's where the war would go on between the hoods, man. Right? Or in the middle of the town or in the other part of town, man. Right? They was in the hood with us, man. And they was the drunkards, man. Especially the Hispanics too, man. Right? This is what we seeing, man. They love their wine, man. Right? Hold on. Wait. It's a precept that goes into Israel being a drunkard, man. Right? And not Judah. Israel. Hold on. Israel. It's got to be Hosea or no. I can't think of it, man. I don't even know how it's worded, man. But mm, so this is Jeremiah. I'm just gonna read it. It's Jeremiah 25:27. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Shaltazabah, the God of Israel, drink ye and be drunken and spew and fall and rise no more because of the sword which I shall send among you, man. So they drunkards, man. Right? Or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or the flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee, man. So they literally get everything from us, man. Right? They take, man, until they can have enough, man. We gotta think, man. The Native Americans and the Hispanics do not take, man. They work humbly, man. They get what they can to survive, and then they send it back home, man. Right? These Nepo babies and these small hats and all these other people, man. They take, man, and then they give to their own, man. But they not working for scraps, man. They not gonna accept the gardening jobs and the roofing jobs and the construction jobs that's low pay, man. Right? Our people is doing that, man. Right? Right? And the Issachar is as an ass, man. Right? He's a hard worker, man. The Hispanics, the Mexicans, man, they the hardest working people in the world, man. Right? Next to Benjamin, man. We get busy, man. Right? But nah, man, for real, the Mexicans work hard as hell, man. Right? And that's who we know as our people, man. Right? So we gotta see, man, that Jesus is talking about us, man. Right? Even if we go up to Deuteronomy 28:54, it says, so that he would not, or so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother. MS-13, the Latin Knights, man. Right? We got all these different Latin gangs, the cartel, man. Right? All these different gangs. Right? And then you have these Hispanics, man. that are Bloods and Crips. They are accepted in the Bloods and Crips, right? Because they are our people, right? We allow Hispanics to say the nigga, man, right? Because they go through the same thing that we went through, man, right? Let me see this, man, right? Right? We serve whites only, no Spanish or Mexicans. It was a one that we serve color carry out only. Hold on. It was another one that said no blacks, no Mexicans. Let me see if I can find that real quick. They went through the same struggles that we went through, right? So here, this is the sign I'm talking about right here. It says no dogs, no Negroes, no Mexicans, right? This is a sign that they had to see every time, man. No Spanish or Mexicans, right? No oh, they had that. This one is crazy. It say no N word, no Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, or dogs allowed. These where we getting the idea that they not our people from, man? They had the same suffering that we had, man. Where do we get the idea that these wasn't our people, man? Texas, man, right? They had the same struggle, man. You can't go into the struggle of the native man and not relate it to our people, man. Right? Think about how our parents punish us, man. They grandmas, they moms got the chancla, right? We got hit with the switch, right? Or we got hit with the spatula, or we got hit with the belt, man. I done went over to some of my Hispanic friends' houses, man, and they got hit with the chancla by their grandma, man. Because that's how our parents operated. Oh yeah, if he act up, don't be afraid to pop his ass. Right? Okay, mommy, I got you. Right? Because that's how it is, man. We got the same type of parenting. We got the same type of family-oriented traditions, man. Whether we want to believe it or not, just because the black men in America have been villainized and painted as not being in the home actively, man. But we the most active people of all groups, man. It's no difference, man. Right? And then we got to deal with this, man. Right? 2nd Esdras 13, verse 40, man. It says, those are the 10 tribes. Who are these 10 tribes right here, man? They a group of blacks, man? No. These 10 tribes, man, right, which would be Dan as well, is going into the nine tribes and Dan, man, right? Because the Issachar or not Issachar, Ephraim and Manasseh, man, are Joseph, right? Which is making up 2 different tribes that ain't Levi, man. I would used to say that this is about everybody except for Judah and Benjamin, but it ain't. It's about everybody except for Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? So continuing on, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land, right? So they went into the slavery, right, in the time of Hosea the king, right? This is the northern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, right? Whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, right, led away captive. So they were in Assyrian captivity, man. During the time of Jeremiah, during the time of Isaiah, man, right? During Hosea the king, right? And then they were brought into another land, right? Verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves. So they thought on among themselves. They had a meeting, man, a secretive meeting, man, right? Something like Harriet Tubman, man, right? This is how the Native Americans and Hispanics was operating, man, before they became Native and Hispanics, man, right? Before they were known to be the indigenous peoples, man, right? They were known as the Israelites, man. Right, and it says, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, right, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. If this ain't about America, where is it about? Where did no man dwell, man? We could see in the book of Kings that King Solomon had a navy, and he sent his navy a year and a half journey, so 3 years in total, man, to get I think it's shittim wood, man, or basically oak. Right? He came over here to build his temple, man, and he took trees back to the land, man, from this land. That's in the Bible, man. So they knew the Israelites, right? Because this was during the time after King Solomon passed, and after the split of the kingdom, after Israel then fell away and went into the ways of harlots, man. Israel had played the harlot, and Judah also, man. Right? This is that time, man. Right? This is where we seeing that happening, man. Right? The Israelites of the Northern Kingdom, man. They came together and they was like, look, man, we got to figure this out, man. Right? And it says that they will leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where neither mankind dwelt. So they was thinking to themselves, what about where Solomon used to have us go for the wood, man? How about we try that, man? Right? And you know that Solomon, man, had to send Issachar, right? If you don't want to say Issachar is the Mexicans, that's fine, man. But Issachar, man, they had the ability to navigate with the stars and everything, man. They were able to tell through the signs of heaven how to navigate, man. So Issachar had to be on that ship going over back and forth to Israel and America, man. Back in the day, back in the time of Solomon, Solomon had armies, man, navies coming here for wood, man. It's in the book, man. I don't know how it's worded right now, man, but it's in the book, man. I could get it eventually, man. But we seeing, man, that they left their land to go somewhere where nobody was at. America's the only land that was uninhabited, man. They had Asia, they had Europe, they had Africa, right? They had, if you want to call it the Middle East, they had the Middle East. The only place that we could say that wasn't occupied at the time might have been Australia or Oceania, man, right? But other than that, the North America is the only known place where nobody was at. They calling this the New World. They doing all this stuff because they didn't realize that people was here, man. Right? And then when they find people, it's like, okay, but the natives was here when the white man came. Right? The copper tone people were here, man. Right? These is who we see today, man. And yes, we still see it in the high cheekbones and all the features of those same people. But you're just getting a little bit lighter skin, man. That's like the example I used is this here, man. Let's go here. I gotta figure out his son's name, man. Cause every time I go into this, man, Ford Wilson, man. That looked like a white boy, man. Right? That looked like a white boy, man. So that's an Israelite though, man. Right? And you would admit that that's an Israelite, some people, man. Right? So let's go to the that's his father, man. His father was a Haitian, man. Right? So Blake Griffin's son is an Israelite, and his dad was an Israelite, man. Right? We cannot go anywhere else and say anything else, man. I think they're Haitians, man. Right? So when it goes into it, man, let me actually get that. That's what I wanted too. I almost forgot. Did I finish this verse off? You have not done so with any other nation. Okay. So let me get this, man. This thing must see me on the video scratching and stuff. That's why they showed that, right? Numbers 1:18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, man, according to the number of their names from 20 years old and upward by their polls, man. So we got to understand that the indigenous, the Taínos, the Aztecas, let me get my list up, man. Let me get the tribe, the Israelite 12 tribes, man. Because I have one that I made, and I usually use this for camp and everything, man. Or I have one at camp. This is my 12 tribe sign, man. Right? You see in there, you could take a moment, pause the video if you have to, look at it, man. But what we seeing here, man, is that I wanted to get the names of the tribes, man. So we got the Mayans, the Native Americans, Seminoles, Incas, the Aztecas, right? The Taínos. It's other groups. I've already said that, man. But it's other groups and identifications and factors that are going to play with who we know as the natives are and the indigenous peoples are, man. It really goes into if your father is a conquistador or your father is the pilgrim, or if you were a native, man. That's what it is, man. The people, and now this is the argument, man. If you want to say through the seed of the father, man, most of these natives nowadays and Hispanics might be white due to whitewashing. That's okay. I can't deny that, man. But you cannot go into that all Israelites or all Israel is black, right? Israel is not only black. Let me get that precept I just had, man. I'm just looking in the text messages again, right, to see where Israel. Okay, because it don't say that exactly what I'm looking for, and I was gonna type it the same way that I've been looking for it. So this is Jeremiah chapter 50, right? This was before we went in captivity, or this was when we were in captivity of Babylon, right? So this is Jeremiah 50, verse 32, and it says, "And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in the city, and shall devour all around about him," right? Thus saith Yahweh Tazabawah, right? The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, right? That's actually not what I wanted, man, but it's still a good precept, man. This is talking about the end of days, man, right? Because this ain't about what happened in, prior to us going into captivity, man. This is about the last days, man, right? And Israel and Judah during the time of Babylon were not oppressed together, man. Israel and Judah are oppressed. They have to be, or we gotta understand that, or we gotta be able to identify with who tribe is who, man. What group of blacks is going to be Issachar? What group of blacks is going to be Ephraim? What group of blacks is going to be Manasseh, Gad, Zebulun? The 12 tribes, man, right? Let me keep on going. Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, right? Simeon, man. I think that's everybody, man. Who makes up these tribes, man? Who make up those tribes? If you're just gonna say black, 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 man, when we get in the kingdom, it's gonna be okay. You Judah, you Benjamin, you Levi, you Manasseh. No, man. It's gonna be we know what we are, or we're gonna have to get it lined up straight when Christ come on, man. But we ain't gonna be in the kingdom, and then the natives not gonna be there. The Hispanics not gonna be there. That's not what it is, man. They gonna be with us, man, right? Because they fit these prophecies, man. They fit the precepts. They fit the verses, man. Right? They fit the description, man. Right? It ain't too hard to understand, man. Right? Because if you go in here, man, Jeremiah 50:33, man, it says the children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together. How do we get oppressed together if we were never oppressed together, man? What captivity were we oppressed together, man? Oppressed. We gotta understand, man. Right? Okay, Egypt. Okay. This talking about Egypt? Is this talking about Egypt? Let's see, man. Control F. EGYP. No results found. Who is this talking about, man? Who we get oppressed together with? Ephraim and Judah, man. Puerto Ricans and the blacks, man. We go through the same struggles, man. I grew up on I'm not gonna give you an exact street number, man. Right? If I start saying too much information to get out there. But I grew up on a specific street when I was like 9 years old, right? Probably before that, man. 5, 6, man. I got memories vivid of this stuff, man. 5, 6, we moved, man. But in this time, man, when I was living in this area, right, it was Hispanics directly across the street from me, man. Right? When there's parties and everything going on, they partying with us. They drinking with us. They doing everything with us, man. Right? And they still in that same hood, man. The neighborhood got worse and everything, man, and they still live in there. In the bottom of society, man. Right? We got to go back here, man. I already got that one. So this is Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. It says, or verse 16, Salakia, cursed shalt thou be in the city. We always say that this means that we in the ghetto, man. Right? We curse in the city because we live in the ghetto, man. And cursed shall thou be in the field. Look at what ICE is doing right now, man. ICE is going to Chicago. They just hit Buffalo a couple months ago, man. Not even a couple weeks ago, man. In this city here, man, right in the greater Niagara region, man, they hitting places of employment, man. Curse in the field. You can't even work no more, man. Right? And then, verse 32, it says, Deuteronomy 28 and 32, this is about the thing that was going on in the border where they was locking children up at the border, man, and all this stuff, trying to solve the what is it? The border crisis, man. Right? They trying to stop the immigrants who are actually, this is their land if we want to be technical, right? But they trying to stop them from getting into their own land, man, because this was theirs first. Right? So this Deuteronomy 28 verse 32, it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. They taking our sons and daughters and putting them in the cages, man. Right? Alligator Alcatrazes and stuff, man. Right? Or even they taking them fathers, man, from the homes now, man. Right? And they leaving the children to fend for themselves. Because they got the birthright citizenships, man. They splitting up homes. That's what that's going into, man. Right? And it says, and thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand, man. This is who it's about, man. This ain't just about us. CPS don't just target blacks, right? If it's enough complaints, man, they will go after everybody they need, man. They don't have really a rulership over the Hispanics, man, but the natives, man. I've heard of natives losing their children, right? All of them. Yeah, and just like I heard of natives, I heard of white people losing their children too. So that ain't a valid excuse, but not as a higher rate as we see blacks and Hispanics, man. Even if we go into the botch of Egypt and the plague and the knees, let me go here, man. This is here, man. Deuteronomy, and it's actually all in the same part, man. Deuteronomy 28:35, and the Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs and with a sore botch that cannot be healed. And I'm actually going into this right now, man, with bad knees, man, right? And it says, from the sole of thy foot to the top of thy head, man. Let me get you the information for this, man. Right? It's too much information that these are our people, man. Right? It's going to give me a generic number, right? It says arthritis rates vary significantly by race, ethnicity, and location, with data from the U.S. National Health Interview Survey showing American Indian / Alaskan Native adults having highest prevalence of arthritis and severe joint pain, and followed by non-Hispanic blacks and white adults, right? Hispanic and non-Hispanic adults have lower rates, while the global studies indicate higher rates of osteoarthritis in higher income regions like Australasia and North America, right? So it's saying that Hispanic and non-Hispanic adults have lower rates. But we got to understand that black people and natives, man, we have the highest rate of arthritis, man, right? Now, the Hispanics, it might be questionable, man, right? But when it comes to this, man, blacks and Hispanics by far, right, have the highest rate of arthritis, or Hispanics by far fit Deuteronomy 28 and 35 at a higher rate than blacks. That's what the stats say. That ain't what I'm saying. That ain't what anybody else is saying. That's according to statistics, right? So we got to understand that this is our people, man, right? I could go into the Emrod and the Botch of Egypt, but I don't really know how to relate that to anything other than eczema. I know eczema is high in blacks, right? So let's see, man. Eczema rates. So blacks have the highest rate of eczema, followed by whites and Asians, Hispanics, and then natives, right? So blacks have the highest rate of eczema, man. That's the botch of Egypt, man. Right? I mean, so it varies among people groups, man. One curse might fit to this people more, and the next curse might fit to this people more, right? And then a perfect example of that is Deuteronomy 20 and 68, man. Now, while this number is taken out of this book here, man, Black Indians again, man, right? The number I suggest is out of this book, and I haven't been able to verify where I got that number from. So do not quote me on this, man. Right? But according to what I think I read, man, it was 500 natives that was taken, or Hispanics that were taken from the Central Americas in America and sent back to Portugal and Spain and France, right? These people went on slave ships, man. Right, just how it says that the Lord shall send us back into Egypt again with ships. That the Hispanic and natives, they went back into slavery on slave ships, man. Right. Verse 66 it says, or 64, it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, right, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. So we got moved all over. The natives went over here already. That was part of the scattering, man. Right? But it also says, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Right? Now the natives, this ain't really that effective with the natives, man. The natives, I know a decent amount about natives growing up with them, man. Right? Working with them, man. And a bunch of other stuff, man. You could tell through they stories, man. Right? An associate at my job, right? She literally said her mom, right, had 10 kids, if I'm not mistaken. 3 of them kids had the same father. All the rest of them had different fathers. And then the reasoning behind this, that she told me this, was because she said that somebody had said that her brothers and her sisters were her half brothers and sisters, right? And she was like, "We don't do that." Guess who else don't do that? I have so many. What the white man would say is a half brother, man. I'm the only one that ain't it ain't no full brothers in my family, but everybody my brother and my sister in my family, man. It ain't no halves in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, man. That's not what we seeing, man. We don't go by half brothers or half sisters, man. That's not a custom of our people, man. We don't refer to our brothers and sisters as half brothers or half sisters. We have the same mother. We have the same father. One connecting link makes us full brothers, man. Full sisters, man. Right? It don't matter. Full siblings. That's how we see it, man. Right? But going back into this, man, the natives, man, they have the ability to choose what their religion is, if they want to go into Christianity or if they want to continue serving the Creator. They still believe in the Creator. They worship the Creator. That's who they serve, man. Right? That's what they believe in. And the Creator, who is that? That's Yahweh. Who they say, oh Yahweh. That's when they say, oh Yahweh, they saying, oh Yahweh. That same name that we say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, they have that in their chants. Oh Yahweh, oh Yahweh. We hearing this in they chants. When I was in elementary school, we would go to their sites, man, and we would go to their longhouses for longhouse, right? They holiday, man, right? And we would see how they observe longhouse, man. They would have all they artifacts and stuff, man, and then they would go around saying stuff like that, man. Every time you hear somebody supposedly imitating a Native American, man, they got that, oh, yo, why did they do that, man? That is Hebrew. That's not English, man. That's their language. Oh no, like that's what they do, man. Right? So they have the ability to choose in between wood and the real, not even the real, man, because they have customs and traditions that aren't biblical, man, not backed by the Bible, man. But it's still the same thing, man. Right? The most Catholicism we have, man, is in South America, man. Right? The most Christianity we have is in the southern states, man. Right? It's consistent, man, amongst blacks people, man. Right? We are the most religious. We are the most in tune with God, the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Right? Why do you think they go so hard with their rosary beads and they statues, man? Because they believe this is how they serve their God, man. Right? It ain't nothing else to it, man. Right? Um, and actually, let's go here, man. Right, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease. So they don't have ease. Look, think about the Mexican man in America, right? When they go to work, they gotta work for pennies on a dollar, and then they gotta send everything back home, man. And they work until they die, right? Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh thy God, Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing for eyes and sorrow of mind. It ain't nothing else to it, man. And then even verse 66, man, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. Especially right now, man, for the Hispanic man that resides in America, man. Or even the Hispanic man that resides in cartel community, man. Right? A lot of these people are escaping their homelands, man, for refuge, man. Right? When I see these people visas and everything, man, they usually here on refugee status, man. Right? Or seeking asylum. Right? That's none assurance of thy life, man. We gotta get over this ideology that the natives ain't our people, man. The Hispanics ain't our people, right? It's not tolerated, man. And then if you want to believe that they're not our people, you should have a little thought in your mind that they might be our people, and I might have to understand that I gotta treat them a certain way because they might be my people, man. Because if you hate your brother in your heart, you are a murderer. Murderers do not inherit the kingdom of heaven, man. You willing to risk your salvation over you not liking a group of people, right? And now that is crazy because as an Israelite, man, most of us we will say that we hate the so-called white man, right? And that is counterproductive, man. But as for me, I don't say that I hate the white man, right? I have a strong disdain for the white man, right? I don't like him too much, right? But it ain't a hate type thing with me and Esau, man. It's a you stay over there, I'm gonna stay my ass over here. Don't drive me to that point because I will take it further. You take it there, I take it further. It's something you don't want to do, right? That's as simple as that, man. Right? But other than that, man, we gotta be careful, man. We gotta be circumspect. We gotta do the research, man. Going into blacks only being Israelites, now you got not fit in Deuteronomy 28 and 51. Now no, that's a lie. Now you're not fit in Deuteronomy 28 and 53, man. Or 31, Salaki. Right now you're not going into who these people are that are natives or that came over here to escape the oppression in Assyria. Who are the people how did these people get over here, right? And then why do we see that Christopher Columbus, man? Well, I have an apocrypha in my room, man. I don't have an apocrypha here, man. But we seeing that Christopher Columbus, man, he used the 1611, or he used not even the 1611. That's impossible, man. What was it called? The Geneva Bible. I think it had to have been in Latin or something because they could read Latin. But they used the Latin Vulgate, one of those texts, man, with the apocrypha in it. I'm not 100% certain, man. They went to Second Edges 13, man. It was like, wait, y'all know about where this is? They started inquiring at the hands of the Moors who knew about this because this information had been passed down through this. The Moors, the people of that time, man, they knew about the natives over here, man, because it was in this book. We had the information. We always knew. So that when Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, he had Hebrew slaves on there, man. He had black slaves on there, man. And when he got over here, how do you think that Christopher Columbus was able to communicate with the natives? Because the black people who went on the boat with Christopher Columbus, man, look this up. Don't quote me on none of this, man. But the black people who was on the boat with Christopher Columbus, man, they were able to actively and retroactively communicate with the natives, man. Because what did they speak? Hebrew. It was a known language, man, that we were able to communicate with one another because we had similar cultures. It was the same culture, just different phases in our lives, man. We was fresh out of Europe and Africa, man, and they was over here for thousands of years integrating idolatry and paganism and ritualism, man, that wasn't in the Bible into what they thought was right, man. We got to understand they were taken and killed and done just how we were, man. His eye shall be evil towards his brother, man. Right now, and actually, man, Esau, man, right? He says that days be fulfilled and in the time I will seek to kill my brother, man. Let's get that, man. Let's get that, man. I don't know if it say kill brother. It is to kill the brother, man. Genesis 27, man. I know it's Genesis 27, but in my mind I was thinking Genesis 37, man. Right? I think Genesis 37, man. It's about Genesis 37 is about how it can't be. Genesis 27, right? And 42, right? So verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Why did they come over here killing the natives? Why did they come over here giving us smallpox? Why did they come over here doing all this stuff, man? Because they were trying to get rid of Jacob. That's what it was. It wasn't about them trying to do anything else but what their spiritual forefather did, man. Esau, or what their spiritual forefather thought in his heart. Because when he came back to Jacob, he did not seek to slay him, man. This was a future prophecy that they was going to slay us, man. They was going to try and kill us, man. That's what they want to do, man. And why would the white man want to kill the natives if the natives are our people? Why would the white man are their people? Why would the white man want to deport the Mexicans if the Mexicans are their people, man? Right? We got to put two and two together. Why do they accept Ukrainians? They accept Indians. They accept Arabs, right? They accept all these freaking dusty, musty, smelly, crusty motherfuckers in our land, man, or in this land. But they want to kick out the Mexicans. They want to kick out the Venezuelans. They want to kick out the Guatemalans. They want to kick out the Cubans. They want to kick out every single group of Hispanic peoples, man. They want to kick out my people, the Caribbeaners, right? They want to kick out the Haitians, man, right? Why don't they target the freaking brown packies and everything in their neighborhoods, man? Literally in my town, man, it's a plethora of these damn brown motherfuckers in my neighborhood, on my street, man. They are actively taking over the hoods and gentrifying the hoods in my city, man. And why aren't they being deported? I haven't heard of ICE deporting an Indian man. I haven't heard of ICE deporting a Ukrainian. I haven't heard of ICE deporting no damn Indian man, right? No Pakistani man, right? Why is it only the blacks, or the Hispanics and blacks, man? Because they can't deport the natives, man. Right? The blacks of the Caribbeans, they can deport, man. Right? Hey, Haiti, right? And so on and so forth, man. Why don't they target the other groups too, man? Because we are the people that are being oppressed, man. It all makes sense when you put two and two together, man. I've been going on for an hour now, man, and I really didn't really even want to do a video today, man. I was supposed to be at work, man. I sent home early, man, and the Spirit called me to do this, man. So, like I always do, man, I'm going to get into the word, man. If the Spirit calling me to do something, man, I'm going to do a video, man. Right? Like we see in my on my YouTube channel. Let's see how many videos I'm at right now. And then I'm going to just end it, man. I'm at 162 videos, man. Right? This week, this is my third video this week, man. Right? And I was planning on doing a video tomorrow too, man. After work, man. But I got it covered, man. Right? I did the Psalm 139 breakdown. The Rapture was yesterday, right? And then I did today, the video right now, man. There's no way around it, man. It's irrefutable. And if you think that the natives not our people, who is 2 Esdras 13 talking about? If the natives not our people, right? Show me a group of people that is the natives, man. And you got to have at least 12,000 in that tribe, man. Because in the kingdom, man, it's going to be 12,000 of each tribe in the governing body, man. Right now, if we go into Choctaw and Seminole and Blackfoot Indian, which are the dark-skinned tribes, man, they are known to be dark-skinned. They don't have high numbers. So we would have to accumulate them into one tribe, and then we got to figure out where all the black people are, man. And then when you go into the Seminoles, right, or the what is they called? Maroons. They called them Maroons. This was a mixture of Judah and the natives. I guess the blacks and the natives. The maroon people, right? When if you go into this, man, and this man right here, you can say whatever you want, man. That ain't no black man, right? And that's the man they chose to use as the cover photo, man. An Indian man, right? Which looked like a modern Mexican man, right? That's us. We could tell that looked like my Uncle Charles, man. That looked like my Uncle Charles. I don't got an Uncle Charles, but that looked like his name could be Charles and he's somebody's uncle, basically saying, man. Right? So, where is we getting this idea that these ain't our people, man? What group of people making up, and you gotta have 120,000, right, of these people that's actively keeping the commandments too, man. They gotta be keeping the commandments, man, because these people are gonna be the elect, and of course the elect can be raised from the dead. So that's a mute argument, I could say, but we gotta go into it, man. We can't piece it together and be like the blacks only the Israelites. Why? Give me some good information, and don't go into paganism, man, because blacks actively partake in paganism. Right? Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, paganism, man. Or ways of the heathen, man. Right? Sunday worship, paganism, birthdays, Satanism, man. When we gonna get into it, man? When we gonna talk about the real and stop talking about the fake, man? Right? The Israelites are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. With that, I want to say shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahshua Barakatah, EGA till we